Imagine if we could predict the behavioral outcome of an adult just by looking at the physical features of an infant. We could determine if the child would grow up to be an athlete, artist, or a criminal. Italian physician and founder of the Italian School of Positivist Criminology, Cesare Lombroso believed that antisocial characteristics and specific physical features such as large ears, receding forehead, square or projecting chin, broad cheekbones, and left-handedness could be used to identify born criminals. Although this kind of classification system would be considered largely flawed in today's world, the ideology aligns itself with the notion of genetics. Scientifically, genes passed on from generation to generation determine how smart a person can be, how obese they can be, or even how violent their behaviors can be. But do genes completely dominate a person's behavior? Monozygotic twins who share the same DNA can act differently from one another. One twin can have a particular disease that the other shows no sign of. This means that factors outside of the control of genes can have a significant impact on an individual's personality and body. If the genome was a paragraph, then the words will be the same for both the twins, but the punctuation and spaces will be different. These changes are governed by environmental factors leading to the nature versus nurture debate, or by chemicals found in the body that regulate gene expression. Epigenetics is the study of these chemical reactions and factors that influence gene expression, in other words, meaning above DNA. They don't change the DNA, rather determine what genes and how many of them should remain active. This can be controlled by either DNA methylation or through histones. When DNA is methylated or bound by histones, it cannot be used, and thus genes are turned off. When this is removed from the DNA, it becomes active in terms of gene expression and protein synthesis. Histones act as a knob for gene expression, whereas methyl groups are the switch for gene expression. The genome of an organism remains the same from birth until death and is passed on from offspring to offspring. The epigenome, however, consists of the records of chemical alterations to the DNA, such as methylation and histone protein binding. These can be changed by major life events such as puberty, pregnancy, and chemical exposures,
or by daily activities consisting of diets, stress, etc.
Epigenetic tags can therefore produce unique offspring qualities based on the mother's exposure to certain things during pregnancy or the life events of an infant. For example, negative epigenetic tags like addiction to smoking can also be passed on from parents to their children, but life events of the children can also make them resistant to smoking. Experiments done on agouti mice show the effect that epigenetics can have on an organism's body. Agouti mice have the agouti gene, which causes them to become obese, yellow-furred, and die early from heart diseases, diabetes, and cancer. When yellow-furred pregnant mice were fed healthy food consisting of lots of greens, their babies were born with brown fur, much leaner, and lived longer compared to their parents. The parent and offspring populations both consisted of genetically identical DNA, were fed the same food, and kept under similar environmental conditions. Therefore, the difference between both populations could arise only from the quality of food that their mothers ate while pregnant. This would mean that eating healthy food during pregnancy prevented the expression of the agouti gene. These methylated fat genes can be turned off by avoiding certain things in one's diet. By understanding how epigenomes and methylation function, as well as the factors that change them, we could activate or silence genes based on what people desire. Through further research into this area, could we perhaps prevent the global spread of obesity or the diabetes epidemic? Or maybe even stop criminal violence from occurring by preventing it beforehand? What could be the possibilities or consequences of such power?